Welcome back to The Count. We're counting down the major stories of the week. I'm Lydia Serrani. Now to story number 4 on our countdown, Poll Patrol. A CNN poll now saying, this is CNN, Americans overwhelmingly supporting Trump and his transition moves. Let me repeat that. This is coming from CNN. Must have been really painful to say that. Look at this.
President. A majority of Americans, 54%, say they expect him to do a good job as president. And we asked specifically, do you have confidence in all of these areas about how Trump will perform and his ability to handle it? And once again, as we saw throughout the campaign, the economy is issue number 1 of his strength. 65%, 2/3 of Americans in this poll say they have some or a lot of confidence in Trump's ability to manage and handle the economy as president. And you see Russia, Ukraine followed there, then immigration, and his leadership skills, his what he intends to use his power for, whether that'll be responsibly not, a bit lower. But again, all of this is majority support.
That's called winning, folks. Joining us now to discuss, senior research analyst for the Media Research Center, Bill D'Agostino. Also with us, political analyst Whitley Yates. Whitley, what do you make of that? CNN talking about Trump winning? That couldn't have been easy for them.
It was wonderful to see a sliver of truth coming from CNN. I think it's great that Americans are really understanding that post the election, Donald Trump is going to be the one to change the economy, to completely tackle the immigration and migrant crisis, and someone who's really going to put America on the better path. But the fact that CNN had to report it is just very, very sweet for me.
And speaking of sweet, I want you to take a look at this photo of J.D. Vance, President Trump, Daniel Penny at the Army-Navy game, taken just moments ago. There he is. The man, he's being honored here, finally, once and for all. What do you think about this? He was acquitted. Thank God we all breathed a sigh of relief because you never know how a New York City jury would go. D.A. Bragg wanted to put this guy behind bars for 15 years for saving people's lives from a deranged, drug-addicted, homeless person who had been arrested 42 times. Bill, what's your reaction seeing that photo right there?
Yeah, relief is definitely the first word that comes to mind. Although, to be honest, Lydia, this whole case it's kind of difficult to say what really I feel about it, because the fact that there was a case at all is kind of preposterous. And I think it's pretty clear to everybody that the ethnicity of the two people involved is basically the only reason that this case happened. Obviously, no conviction is the best possible result. But sadly, I think that this is pretty much already going to, or it already has had a chilling effect on any kind of do-gooder, or I don't want to say vigilante, but somebody who might step in a dangerous situation. I think that the next time there is a Daniel Penny type individual sitting on a train and something like this happens, he's probably going to think twice and do nothing, which will spare him a lot of heartache and possibly malicious prosecution. But who knows what will result from that, right? So even though the DA didn't get, the conviction, the case has still had its intended effect, I think, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that. And Whitley, the other 26-year-old that's in the spotlight now, Luigi Mangione, you've got the left, they're lionizing this guy. He is, of course, a suspect in the CEO murder. His jacket's selling out. There's a legal fund for him, $80,000. There was wanted posters. You had Liz Warren defending him. What do you think about that? They want to demonize Daniel Penny, talk about what a bad guy he is, but then you've got people like on The View, like Sonny Hostin, Liz Warren, AOC, saying, you know what, maybe Mangione had a point here, kind of trying to somehow defend him.
I mean, I think it's honestly disgusting. They live in this dystopian society where they laud the murderers and then want to applaud people like him who are honestly taking the law into their own hands and killing people. I've never seen anything quite like it. That, coupled with the lusting after what he looks like, is honestly just disgusting. The left is so confused about what is right versus what is wrong that they are willing to create momentum around a murderer. And I think that that is just disgusting in and of itself. Whether or not you like the healthcare system doesn't mean that you should allow people or laud people that take the law into their own hands and to create murder in order for you to feel like there has been some type of justice.
Yeah, it's incredible. Now, Bill, shifting to other news, after a disgraceful time as leader of the FBI, Christopher Wray resigned this week, but the legacy media, they're not happy about it, of course. Now, your group made a montage. Let's take a listen.
And I'm very disappointed that Director Wray decided to resign.
It's a sad day for the institution.
I'm struggling to really understand.
There were some people who were seen crying in the room.
There was also a somber tone at times and some sadness.
I just want to emphasize what a departure from the norms this is.
This is a norm-shattering event.
This unprecedented move.
We've become used to presidents firing FBI directors.
That normalizes the idea that you can just replace FBI directors when you just don't like what they're doing.
Media Research Center, never disappointing with the montages. Crying, really? Bill, that was quite the montage there.
Yeah, it was hard to pick what actually to put in there. I think the real challenge was not putting too much Frank Puglisi in there at the same time, because boy is he just a weepy pearl clutcher. I can't stand that man. But yeah, that clip of Evan Perez that you had there at the end, wow. I mean, would that fail civics class or what? The idea that the president can just fire the FBI director, yeah, he can. He can fire any position that he appoints because he's the president, he's the chief executive. Yet for some reason, the idea of Chris Wray leaving brought about this whole second round of panic about Kash Patel coming in. As though, what, did they think that Chris Wray and Kash Patel were going to be serving at the same time? They've already had their freak out over Kash Patel. They've had it for the past 2 weeks. And yet when Wray leaves, suddenly it's a whole nother round of panic. So I don't really get how they expected things to work. If Trump names his intended FBI director, that means that the current one is obviously going to be leaving. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it was fun to watch them all panic.
Whitley, I want to get your quick reaction to ABC News. They have to pay out $15 million now to Trump for defamation because George Stephanopoulos said at least 10 times that Trump was found liable for rape when instead it was actually battery. What do you think about that?
I think that you play stupid games and you win stupid prizes, so they have to pay the piper. And I think that it's great when you're seeing media that is specifically utilizing propaganda, bias, and lies to push their agenda. And so the fact that the court has found in favor of President-elect Donald Trump and they are going to be $15 million broker is great. Put that money in his pocket and maybe next time they'll keep their mouths closed.
Well, there you go. Yes, it was a settlement agreed by both parties. $15 million for the presidential library. So a lot of money there, but hopefully a huge lesson to be learned by ABC as well as other news organizations. Bill, Whitley, thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lydia.